from the beautiful islands of St. Kitts and Nevis. We welcome you, a warm welcome to our webinar today. We have with us a very special panel of guests. Those are the developers of Solitaire at Cockleshell Bay. Every development has a life of its own. It's created from the moment of inception, and that moment is the moment when the vision comes to the developer. At that time, they start creating and expanding on it. And apart from just the vision, we also need a reason. And the reason is what makes a developer move forward with the construction, with the sales, with everything else. Further to that, we also need to know where it's going, the future. We need to course the path of the development. And having worked with global development for over 20 years, I know that that is very important to know where we're going. That includes the architect, the design, the construction, the sales, but most importantly, it includes the impact that the creation of this destination will have, in this case, on the islands of St. Kitts and Nevis. I'm going to take a few minutes now to introduce us to our developers. We start with Ravi Willison. Ravi Willison is the CEO of Capital Realty and Development Group. We also have with us Ron Reeser, who is the founder and CEO of the Eagle Group. And we have Neil Payne, who is the CFO of the Eagle Group, along with managing partner for St. Kitts and Nevis Sotheby's International Realty. With that, I'm going to jump right over to Ravi. And Ravi, can you share with us what brought you to Island? Can you share the vision with us?
Neve, it's been my pleasure, and thank you for the opportunity to give you a little background and fun and enjoyment of what we're experiencing here in St. Kitts. Just a brief background. I spent most of my career on Wall Street. Was there. I've spent probably 30 years on Wall Street doing structured finance, mergers, acquisitions, ran a couple significant public companies. And in 2014-15, I was running about a $500 million distressed asset fund. We were coming out of the meltdown of the 2010 real estate, and so there were problem properties everywhere, and that was kind of my unique specialty. So it wasn't unusual for people to reach out to me and contact me about an opportunity or a problem or a financing that was needed. And in that regard, a very good friend of mine who was a Delta pilot said, I heard about this magnificent island down in St. Kitts. I'd love you to come down with me and take a look and kind of give me an assessment of what your thoughts are. Candidly, my first response was somewhat skeptical. I thought, okay, we're going to go to another Caribbean island with sketchy neighborhoods and billboards and lines running everywhere, and then you're going to go through all this poverty and you're going to get to a nice location. So I came with total skepticism, and candidly, it didn't take long for my opinion to be changed, 1000%. He put me in the car. We started on what I call the arrival sequence out to the site. The first thing we did was we came through a tunnel, and this is a perfect picture of what I experienced. As you come out of the tunnel, the first thing you see on the right side is that spectacular, crystal clear Caribbean water. And you proceed down that pathway, and all of a sudden you're driving with Caribbean water on one side and the waves and sound of the Atlantic Ocean on the other. And it's literally an aha moment. You just can't even believe what you're seeing. In 2004, the island had the vision to bring the Corps of Engineers in here. So everything on the South Peninsula portion of the island is all underground utilities. There's not a telephone pole, there's not a billboard, there's not a sketchy neighborhood. You are literally driving into some of the most pristine real estate that candidly you'll see anywhere in the world. So I was immediately taken with just the beauty and the vision of this, and I was kind of taken aback as I was driving. And then it dawned on me, it was the same type of experience. I used to live in Los Angeles and I worked in the heart of downtown LA, right in the meat and the grind. So when I left there to go back to my home in Newport Beach, as soon as I got to the first point out of the hectic world of LA and saw that spectacular ocean view as you came down MacArthur Boulevard, that was my aha moment. I knew that I had arrived and now I was back in the world that I wanted to live in. And that was exactly the same impression that I had as I wandered out this pathway. The roads are pristine. There's not potholes. There's none of the things that you might anticipate on this island. It is truly, as Brenda Powers from Sotheby's in New York says, it is truly a hidden gem beyond belief. So we proceeded to the property and my friend showed me what was there, which was a 152 acre site that had not been touched. It was still in a pristine format. The property is at the far southern end of the island, and it's where the Atlantic and the Caribbean join. So you have this amazing water spectacle around you, and then you're looking 2 miles across the Narrows to Nevis, which is an iconic island that's been known and talked about in British and international travel circles for years. That's also the home of the Four Seasons, which has been there some 30 years and is personally owned by Bill Gates. So I'm standing there looking at the view of Nevis. I'm looking at the new Park Hyatt Hotel that was under construction. It was the first Park Hyatt built in the Caribbean, and it was ultimately to be a $200 million Park Hyatt that literally is adjacent to this site. So the site is a entirety of 152 acres. And what was amazing about it is there had been an incredible amount of work already done on this site. The developers in the mid to late 2000s had poured literally millions of dollars into this location. And then, as happened to a lot of developers in that time period, they literally they lost everything. The market went away, and they were left holding a difficult property. What was interesting, though, as I began to do the research, is I found that 5 of the top hotel 5-star flags in the world had chosen this specific location for their next venture into the Caribbean. And that included Ritz-Carlton, it included Auberge, it included Rosewood, it included Mandarin Oriental. And so it was very and Park Hyatt. So it became very evident to me that this property was a find of a lifetime if you could just take all the pieces and put them together and restructure it. And uniquely, that happened to be the business that I was in. So it was a great fit for me. So my first thought was, if I could assemble the right team of best of breed to take this property over and restructure it, it matches anything that's ever been done in the Caribbean in terms of location, site, everything imaginable about it, and all the utilities all the way out to the tip of this island are totally underground. As you get there, you're just overwhelmed with these gentle blowing trade winds that it's like somebody's pouring liquid Valium on you. Just all of a sudden you find yourself standing there with a big stupid smile on your face and say, my God, this is paradise. If I want to live somewhere, this is where I want to be. So I quickly set about doing the due diligence and finding out how to go about it, I found all the kind of the key ingredients in it, and I went out and secured all the notes that were outstanding on the property, bought those notes out, took control of the property, went back to the bank, told them that I wanted to, that I was now the new mortgage holder, and that I wanted to move forward with development. They told me to go to court to settle it. I did. And 2 years later, I was the proud owner of the property. So immediately I wanted to put that team in place. I had the good fortune very early on to be introduced to Mr. Ron Reeser. His reputation precedes himself. He's done some amazing developments in the Southeast. In Atlanta, Georgia, he did Eagles Landing, which is a spectacular golf course community that's well known throughout the South. And I'll let him tell you a little bit more of some of the current things that he's doing. But as Ron and I got together, we sat down and we decided, let's go get the best possible people in the hospitality industry. The first party that we reached out to was a gentleman named Tom Hendricks. Tom Hendrick was not only the head of real estate for Rosewood, but he was also the head of real estate for Mandarin Oriental Hotel. And Tom built the first 3 Mandarin Oriental hotels that were ever done in the US. So he had a wealth of experience in hotel packaging, design, all the elements of helping put a team together. So Ron and I quickly engaged with Tom, brought him on as our lead developer, and then we began looking at who the other pieces that we could add. We were introduced to a gentleman by the name of Gene Butler, who has spent 30 years in the Caribbean, building luxury real estate developments here, was the one that did the renovations for the Four Seasons when they had some issues years ago. And so Gene was uniquely positioned to be an asset to us. So he came on as our construction manager. Then the next element, obviously, we needed is who was going to help create that vision and design that was going to make this property second to none in the Caribbean. And we had the good fortune to get together with a gentleman named Rafa Amachaskany. And Rafa is probably known as the preeminent architect throughout the Caribbean. He's best known for having done the design of the Shore Club in Turks and Caicos, which was voted the Hotel of the Year in 2019. His current project is called the Strand, which is a magnificent design of $10+ million homes on Turks and Caicos. So with those elements in place and Ron's background, we decided, all right, how do we want to configure this property? So the 152 acres actually breaks out into a number of unique segments. What you see here as number 2 on this map, it really constitutes 35 acres that has been designed with our team to bring a 5-star resort. We have an agreement in place to bring a world-class 5-star resort to that exact portion of the island. There's a 1/4 mile of beachfront that accompanies that property. It is now zoned to be able to build up to 95 luxury hotel keys and 28 luxury villas. We've gone through all preliminary design, planning, and we've been working on this now for the last 2.5 years to put all that in place. So the property actually has 3 or 4 facets. When you look at area 3 and 4, those are 36 luxury hillside villas that I'll let Neil tell you a little bit more about as we go forward. But that's the first product that we're bringing that, again, was designed by Rafa, and it's a design that's unparalleled. It's magnificent. The area, the large open area to the left side is 85 estate lots. Those estate lots run from a half an acre to 2.5 acres. They're all positioned on a gently sloping hillside, all of which have direct ocean views and uninterrupted ocean views from every location. As a matter of fact, when you get to the top of that area, a number of our lots look directly into the Mega Yacht Marina, which is our neighbor. So when you look at this location, you have a 5-star hotel that's well downstream in planning. You have a luxury hillside villas that we hope to be able to break ground in the next 6 to 8 weeks. You have 85 luxury hillside estates, and we'll be showing you a little bit further into this discussion, actually what that home is going to look like. We're through the design and we're ready to break ground in short order. So I don't know if I've missed any of the pieces here, but I'd like to have Ron, if he'd be so kind to kind of give his take of this as we've gone forward, and obviously talk more about his background and vision that he brings to these types of properties. Ron, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Thank you, Robbie. Thank you for that overview. What we want to do when we develop a master plan community is do what we call placemaking. And placemaking is action spots where you celebrate life. And so what you want to do in a development, a master plan community, as we're doing in our Jubilee project, or as in this project, a master plan resort, is to put together everything that Robbie's just mentioned. And then after you get all that put together, you've got to create these places that people want to come to. And there's 3 main places that we work diligently to create for our homeowners and for our visitors. Number 1 is their home and their space in their home. Number 2, and that includes their office space within their home. And number 2 is a community office space that's close by, so that they can get out of the house if they want to and go and do what they do. And that's a lot of times for a lot of these high net worth people, that's conduct their business. And then number 3 is a community gathering space, or a hotspot, as the land planners call it. And so their home is obviously their personal space. In my case, I have a home that I'm sitting in right now, and I have a balcony, an open air balcony where I can go and I can meditate, and I have a really good personal space here. When I go to my office, I'm high above the streets of Sandy Springs on a balcony, because I like balconies and I like open air, and I meditate and do all my business on that balcony. And then whenever I go to hotspots, I want to have those close by, but I want them to be in a certain genre that I will mention in a minute. To give you an idea of how this works and give you a quick picture, we're doing a project that's 2,700 acres. It'll be 8,000 lots. It'll be a new town, a village center, and it's in Pensacola, Florida. Pensacola, Florida is one of the oldest cities in the country. They say it's the oldest, even older than St. Augustine. But their downtown has buildings that have been restored from 1880 to 1920. So they have a great, vibrant vibe down in downtown Pensacola. And so we're 25 miles north of downtown Pensacola. So to create a place that's identifiable to the people of that region, our village center is going to look like it's an 1880 to 1920 village. And the architecture of the houses and the streetscapes and everything are going to be in that period of time. And so that creates a tug on the heartstrings of people that yearn for the yesteryear, and they get to see it in downtown Pensacola. So here on this piece of property, we're very, very fortunate to have 1,500 feet of pristine beach frontage. flanked on either end by historic restaurants. On one end, we have the Reggae Beach Bar and Restaurant, and it's painted green and red and yellow, and the reggae music is playing there. It's open air, and it has tourists in there, it has locals in there, and it's a place that you want to be and you want to go. And so we have that great opportunity to draw off of that when we begin to create places here at Cockleshell Bay. On the other end of our beach is Spice Mill, and Spice Mill is a more upscale restaurant than Reggae Beach Bar, but it's open air, and it's a place that you really want to be. And so what we want to do is create these places. Now, the first step in creating a place that's a restaurant is to have a chef-owned restaurant or a chef-managed restaurant where an owner-managed restaurant where the owner's there. In the case of these two restaurants, the owner is on site every day. And so that's why they're so vibrant. They made it through COVID, and they did a great job. And so one of our first places that we're going to create is our beach club. Right on the beach. This is a picture of the beach club, and it'll be right next to Spice Mill. So we're on the end of the beach next to Spice Mill, with great beach frontage, great views across the Caribbean to Nevis. And this is a place that will have both spots in there where if you need to conduct business, you can go and privately conduct business, but it's more of a community gathering spot where you'll meet your neighbors, and it's a place that you'll want to go back to. Then in addition to that, we have the club at Solitaire. This is a view of the club at Solitaire. It's a typical club with workout room, with a pool, with the views that are for miles. You can see the Atlantic Ocean to the left and the Caribbean to the right, and the land that you see to the right is Nevis. And you're looking down on the site that'll be the 5-star luxury resort hotel. So being in that spot, it creates a place for you to go to both gather with your neighbors as well as be private if you want to, and have great views while you're doing your business. And then the final space is the individual homes of Solitaire, and that's you can see a kitchen behind Neil. Neil's sitting in a kitchen. Nevis is sitting in a living room. And so we have places that we're creating that we want people to be compelled to come and experience. And then we want them to be places that after they come and arrive there, they like what they've come to and they don't want to leave. And then we want these places to be such that when they leave, they yearn to get back there. And so that's our placemaking strategy for everything that we do and every development that we do. And just to give you the celebration of life portion of placemaking, we define placemaking as spots that celebrate life. I have 3 daughters. When they were little babies, I started telling them, today we're going to extract joy out of every second. So if you have the attitude of extracting joy out of every second, then you can't go wrong in a day that you do that. And when you get out of extracting joy out of every second, you need to get back into it. And these places are places where you can go and say, wow, I'm really glad I'm here. I like this place, and I'm gonna extract joy out of every second.
Awesome. That's what drives us at the Eagle Group, right? I mean, we if you want to know the why and what's behind us, right? We are placemakers at the Eagle Group in Capital Realty and Development. We are placemakers, which has a physical definition, and then it also has a people definition. And one of the things that we believe, to Ron's point, when you want to yearn to come back, there's a people element to that too, right? And Robbie has the fortune of being on island right now, and the place where he's staying, everybody remembers your name every time you go there. And one of the things that, as I listen to my friends and colleagues talk about places they want to go back to, a common and unexpected thread is very simple. It's when people remember your name. And that's so embedded in the culture in St. Kitts, right? And so having people in that environment to support that ability, and I love that. That's our our driver and our passion to help people extract joy out of every second, everywhere they are. That's what drives us. There's a huge community focus to that. And so one of the things we focus on is the community around us in terms of the jobs that we can create. That's a big passion and a driver for us. And anybody who wants more on that, I'd invite you to call me. We love talking about that stuff. But we focus on the fact that we believe this resort will create over 3,000 jobs for the island of St. Kitts. And hopefully, if we do it right, not just any jobs that help create an environment where everybody who's involved can promote that joy that Ron's talking about. And everybody who's involved can remember names in a way that people will come back. And so that's the environment we want to create. But it starts with the houses. So I get the opportunity to talk through a little bit of the vision. And so I'm taking credit for Rafa's work as Robbie teed up all of Rafa's great credentials as the architect. But you can see here the character of Soltaire that we're going for. Very much indoor outdoor living. And so the units have almost exactly as much square footage outside as they do inside. And so they're really highlighted by all of these great terraces. Each unit has its own plunge pool. And the character is very a nice modern touch anchored in the heritage of local elements like the stone and the wood that you see here. And as you move inside to where Navis is sitting, we want to make sure that the experience that we deliver is this completely seamless indoor-outdoor lifestyle. And so to me, the defining feature of the Soltaire units is this integrated living room, terrace, pool space. And so we wanted to make sure, and there's some real engineering that went into making sure that there are no columns and nothing in the way to occlude your ability to flow seamlessly between your living room and your balcony. The famous trade winds that Robbie talks about, you can feel those as you sit on your couch, inside or outside for that matter, at any point in time, and enjoy those views. I mean, you can see across to Nevis. I often joke, I've got 3 little kids. One of my favorite parts about Nevis, if you asked a child to draw an island, they would draw Nevis. You have to show it to them, right? That sort of perfectly volcanically conical. I think that's the word. I'm a numbers guy, not a word guy, so I apologize if that's wrong. But just a gorgeous volcanic island across the way there. And then you turn around and look at the kitchen, and we carry that local stone for that heritage is carried inside to what will be a very well-appointed kitchen. Here again, big open concept space. You can see from this vantage point the ability to look onto 2 terraces, certainly the plunge pool, no matter where you are in the first floor of the unit. We have 2 masters. It's a double master setup. A double suite setup is what I should say. And so you have a primary suite on the first floor and a secondary suite on the second floor. Again, both with private patios, private terraces. If the owner so chooses, we will have a rental pool, and suites can be locked off and rented individually or in a managed rental program, or certainly the owner can enjoy all 3 stories. And getting to the 3rd story, every unit comes standard with a rooftop terrace that celebrates those views that you see there. And so you'll have dining and relaxing spaces, as well as, if you look at the final picture, a full outdoor kitchen so you can certainly host in any form or fashion on 3 levels in these units, which makes it really, really fun. So grateful for the opportunity to share some of Soltaire with you. I'm going to actually throw it to Robbie, who's going to talk about our first look at some of the estate homes that we're planning for those 85 estate lots. So Robbie, can you comment there on what our vision is for the estate homes?
Neil, thank you. As you can tell, we've carried a common architectural theme throughout the project. It's a touch of modern, but it's a touch of warmth and engagement with the environment. So when you look at this home and when you go through the type of development that Rafa is famous for, it's an indoor outdoor living. This unit represents about 4,800 square feet under roof, but the entirety of it is closer to 8,500 feet. So you'll have amazing outdoor spaces. When you come in the back side of the property and you walk to this front, and this is your rear entrance. And as you come in this rear entrance, as you'll see in a moment, it opens up and you look out through your living room, over your pool, and directly into the Caribbean Ocean. You have 23 feet of open air glass that you see in this vista, and the whole environment is part of your lifestyle. You see the ocean from every room, from the masters, from this incredible living area, from your outdoor deck, and these lots cascade up the hillside. So each home that we build in this similar mentality will have that same open air look and feel. Of course, we'll have all the appropriate HOA and commonality of maintenance and how everything is maintained. But we're so fortunate to have somebody of Rafa's vision that's able, is just defined Caribbean lifestyle probably as well as it can be done. And to Ron's point, you have workspace in here. The thing that I find when I come here to work is that there is no great separation. I don't feel as though I'm in some third world environment. My T-Mobile phone for $5 a day gives me complete functionality. I can literally talk with our lenders in Europe, people in California, anywhere for $5 a day. So my total office cost is $150 a month. And you can run virtually, you bring your computer and your phone and you're in business. So we've made each of the units give you that ability, because as we're finding, people are staying longer and longer when they go to a location such as Cockleshell Bay, and we afford them the ability to do that. You've got the cable TV. I sat here last year and watched the Georgia Bulldogs football playoffs sitting in the room in St. Kitts. So it's such a common, easy transition. The flights down here, I get on the plane and in Atlanta at 10 o'clock in the morning, and at 1:45 I step off the plane and I'm here. They've done everything to expedite the passport and arrival process. So this island is literally a hidden gem. This is a place to come and play, but it's a place that you're going to want to stay. The people are, it's kind of comical. I walked in the hotel the other morning to Neil's point about the friendliness, and I always buy a little chocolate Cadbury bar when I come down there because they're so delicious. The lady that runs the novelty shop, every time she sees me, she comes running out of the store, gives me a big hug, and gives me my Cadbury bar to welcome me back to St. Kitts. And we've all traveled in different unique and Caribbean environments. Have been to Bermuda or the Bahamas. You're often treated as though they're doing you a favor, allowing you to be on their island. The people of St. Kitts are proud of their island. They're proud to share it with you, and the openness and warmth is second to none. And we're trying to create that same lifestyle element with all of the design of our properties that were here. Neil, I'm going to let you talk a bit about the brokerage operation and the good fortune we've had about bringing Sotheby's in as part of our team as well.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Thanks, Robbie. It's fun. I do get to wear two hats, as Navis said when we kicked off, that I get to be involved both on the developer side and on the brokerage side. we're so grateful for our deep connections with Sotheby's. As we've been talking here, I've been looking at the attendee list, and just grateful so much from partners all over the world. Certainly, we have really deep partnerships for this project specifically with incredible partners from Manhattan and Miami, many of whom are on the phone. Thank you all for joining. And we've also got fun partnerships across the world. London and Italy, I see on the phone today as well. And so that's really fun to see both of you here. And others who I may not have seen as I did a quick scroll. I'm sorry to miss you, but we're really grateful for the support we've gotten from what is, unquestionably the top luxury real estate network in the world. And so I won't, these numbers on the page speak for themselves, and obviously frame very clearly why we took the decision to partner so deeply with Sotheby's. But we're grateful for our teams globally, and also extremely grateful for the team on island there led by Neva Sanchez. And so all the wonderful work that they're doing to help us bring this to life. And part of why we did this is because we believe so much in St. Kitts and Nevis beyond the borders of our own property and our own project. And we believe that this country, I mean, we've said it before, but we believe the country is truly a hidden gem and it has so much to offer. And we're just honored and privileged to be a part of that for the long haul. And so that's part of why that is why we took on the partnership with Sotheby's. So Nay, I'll hand it back to you to close it up, but thank you for the opportunity as the developers to share our story and share what drives us. It's been fun to be with you today.
Thank you so much, Robbie, Ron, Neil. It really has been a pleasure, and it's very important for all of us, to hear it directly from the developer. Nobody knows how to tell that story like you do, and we're very grateful to have you here with us today. With everyone that Neil just mentioned, and I'm seeing a lot of familiar names and some that are not, which hopefully will be soon. We really want to thank you for being with us here today. We've gotten amazing comments, suggestions, questions, and those will be answered personally and individually by our team. Just wishing you all from St. Kitts and Nevis, from Sotheby's International Realty and Saltaire at Cockleshell Bay, a wonderful weekend. And again, thank you. And we hope to see you here soon.